Hi, this is Asim.
This is Sujoy.
This is Amrita.
And you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast about the three main Khans of the Hindi film industry.
Amir,
Salman,
And Shara.
Hi, you're listening to Khandaan, a Bollywood podcast regular feed. Thank you so much for your support over the years. We now have a Patreon channel with bonus content and exclusive merch for those of you who would like to support us. Every dollar goes towards creating more and better content. Visit us at patreon.com/Khandaan podcast.
Hi and welcome to a new episode of Khandaan Podcast. My name is Asim Bernie and I'm joined with my lovely co-host Amrita and Sujoy. Hey Amrita, hey Sujoy.
hello everybody.
Hello.
So we did a special episode yesterday, me and Amrita, that's going to release
Yes.
on Patreon. Yeah.
Why was that, Sujoy? Please tell the audience.
बस हो गया था. I was dead asleep.
Like literally half an hour before we started recording, Sujoy was like, I'll see you guys in half an hour, okay? And then like half an hour came and then we were just like, what happened to Sujoy? Like, Asim and I are like calling him. We're just like, I hope he's all right. And then we also know Sujoy, so we were like, he's probably asleep. And yes, so everything worked out well.
But we have to say Sujoy is in India, right? So
Yeah.
he's like, he's in the, in the chow of his ma. So, that sleep is much deeper and better than any sleep there is,
For
right?
sure. Like,
So-
but I've always had like sleeping problem back in London, and here I'm just only sleeping and eating. So, and Mai's like, "Why are you so mota? You're giving me so much chawal to eat, and you're so complaining as well. Why are you so much mota?" Sure.
All cow, all cow.
That is love. Love is cow, That's it. We're talking about some of the new releases that came out this week. We've got MADGAON Express and The Crew.
Yeah.
You guys saw MADGAON, right? Both of you?
Yes. I did.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
गोवा जाने का यार यही तो उम्र है जाने की अगर अब नहीं जाएंगे या कॉलेज खत्म होने के बाद जाएंगे
गोवा और वो भी अकेले अकेले
21 साल के हो गए हम बचपन से प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं पर एक साथ गोवा तो छोड़ो लोनावला भी नहीं गए
बहुत हो गया है माँ बाप का स्ट्रेस अब हम बच्चे नहीं है जवान है गोवा हियर वी कम
So I think this is the directorial debut of Kunal Kemmu, who we've seen in many movies before this, and he's also the husband of Sohaili Khan. I think this is an XL production, and it's like a slacker comedy in the vein of a Golmaal series or Go Goa Gone or something in between those two. But this is the directorial debut. It stars Pratik Gandhi, who we've seen in Scam. It's got Dhivyendu from like Pyar Ka Panchnama and all those other movies. He was also in the Chashme Baddu remake, I believe, and there's Avinash Tiwary as well in this, and some cameos which I did not expect, including Nora Fatehi and Remo D'Souza as Dr. Danny, which is really funny. And then it's a slacker comedy set in Goa of three friends who go on this trip from Bombay to Goa after many years of planning, and then one bad decision leads to another and things spiral out of control. There's drugs involved, there's gangsters, there's funny gang leaders, and all that comedy that you can think of that lies between Go Goa Gone and Golmaal happens here. And I think Kunal, you can tell this is a sort of a first time director's work because he is so ambitious and he wants to put in everything. A lot of it does land. I think this would be more enjoyable if you watch it with friends who are also who also enjoy this kind of humor, along with an audience who are actually, enjoying and laughing at the jokes. I did not get to do that because it was a late night screening in Calcutta and there was like 20 odd people in the screening. So I mostly enjoyed it, but I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as I could have.
Yeah, I feel that the same way. Like I feel like slacker comedies aren't really my thing to start off with. But as far as it goes, like I had a good time, and I can see that if this is your sense of humor, then you would really like it. Like if you're the kind of person who enjoys things like Go Goa Gone and like stuff like that, then I think like this would be absolutely up your alley. And it does have like a few twists and turns that I really enjoyed. And it's also trying to say something about this generation, which I appreciated. Like, there's this theory out there that says your debut film as a director is your most personal one. And I feel like Kunal Kemmu is really writing to his generation with this film. And it's very competently made. It's very self-assured. He knows what he's doing. Everything, like there's nothing in it that makes me feel like, oh, like this part was lax or, like they didn't, this character didn't get their, the arc that was promised at the beginning of the film. Everybody got it, even Nora Fatehi, who gets like one of the funniest story arcs in the film. And also like Remo D'Souza shows up, and like honestly, like Remo, right? Like
Remo D'Souza,
yeah. And he should really stick to this rather than directing like
race.
Yeah, I mean, like he shows up looking like the Predator, like Alien versus Predator. Like he looks like the Predator in
That's
it.
exactly what I thought. With the cat eyes, contact lenses, and the braids.
And I don't know, it works for me. Yeah, like I was looking and I was like, you know what? I enjoy this. This is wild and it is stupid, and I didn't see it coming, but like it was like really good. And also like Kunal. Is really interesting to me. Like in the beginning of the film, he thanks Rohit Shetty, Salman Khan, and one more person that I can't remember now off the top of my head. No, I don't think so. Like somebody else. But it was really interesting to me that he thanked like Salman and he thanked Rohit Shetty, because I can see that influence in this film, like the humor, the actors that he chose, the way that he's built the story and this world. There's this entire subplot about this female Dawn called Kanchan Komri, which was hilarious. And it's the same woman from like Lapata Ladies who plays Kanchan Komri. And it's a very like Rohit Shetty sort of thing, but much better. Like this is like an actual like story that's being told. It's not like, a bunch of explosions strung together with a little bit of skit writing.
Yeah.
It was like, I thought like it was like really well made. Like it was like a really well made film, and I think it's a modest success. And I wish that it was actually even better. There's also like little things that he does that just shows how much he's thought about this, like how much thought went into the filming of this film. Like I was really struck by the fact that so Pratik Gandhi's character has a girlfriend, and Pratik Gandhi is playing like this Gujarati, like this very conservative Gujarati who falls in love with a Muslim woman. And not just a Muslim woman, but a Muslim woman who like goes around like wearing a burqa, and we never see her face. Like the portions in the film where like, like she takes off her headwear, but the camera never shows you her face.
Yeah.
And that was like, it's just a tiny little detail that just sort of elevates the storytelling for me. Because it shows that he was like actually thinking about like this character and how the camera is like a part of the story and you can like actually see it.
Mm.
And then there's like this twist in the end that I should have seen coming, where
Yeah.
you find out who Avinash Tiwari's soulmate is.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. I'm not going to spoil that part because like it honestly is one of the funniest things that, that I saw on screen. Like even though like, like I said, like I'm not like a slacker comedy person, but I saw that particular thing and I was just like, of course, like I should have seen that coming from a mile away. And yeah, it's just great. Like I thought it was like a really well made film.
I thought like there are small writing gems in this. Like the dialogue is so snappy that I absolutely love the heck out of it. Especially like Dhivyendu and Pratik Gandhi get a lot of the funny lines, and like there is a portion where they are introduced to this gangster guy who is the ex-lover of Kanchan Komri. His name is Mendoza Bhai, and they all three of them just keep calling him the wrong name. One of them calls him Mandolin Bhai. Just cracked up, and every time somebody calls him the wrong name, he gets more and more furious. And it's like it's because he's supposed to be the threatening guy or the threat in that situation, and he gets ridiculed. It's hilarious.
There's this wall in Kanchan Komri's lair where it's written in Hindi, "Thukna hai to yahan thuko," and it's literally all the photos of like all the men in her, and then, that have done like wrong by the women in her gang. It's like it's one of those like tiny things, like you just see the detail that went into like making this world, and you appreciate it.
A+ name on Kanchan Komri though, by the way. Like, it's
there
pretty
is even
cool.
like a amazing backstory of why her name is Komri.
Yeah.
It's
It's like a nod to The Godfather, and it just like made me laugh so hard when that happened. And yeah.
Also, like the last, like I'm not gonna reveal much, but there is a reveal in the climax scene how Dhivyendu's character, I think his name is Dodo, and he's like कोई अक्लमंद होता था पर उसको पता चल जाता कि सब पुलिस लोग हैं, and he points out something and it's hilarious. You have to watch the movie to find out why that is hilarious.
My most important question, you talked about it a little bit. How does Nora Fatehi do?
She's really good.
Yeah, surprisingly good. Like she also gets a dream sequence song, which plays twice from two different perspectives. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Especially because like Dhivyendu's character. Dodo like sees her first, and then he has this entire like dream
I think
sequence.
the song is called "Not Funny."
Not funny, yeah. and you cut to like Nora like looking at him as like he's just standing there saying "not funny, not funny," and then he immediately goes, "Are you a prostitute?" And she's like, "What? What the hell? What is wrong with you?" And in the context of that scene, but especially if you've been to a place like Goa, like not even Goa, but like a place like Goa, you absolutely get who Dodo is and who Nora is, and like why that entire like this is clearly written by somebody who is familiar with that milieu, who's been there and who's been in that little ecosystem, and they understand how that thing works. But then like when you have the dream sequence the second time around, like Avinash Tiwary, I enjoy him so much. Like he's such a good actor.
He's never missed, honestly. Like literally, he's never missed. Like I've not seen him in anything where I've seen him like and he's played gangsters in Khaki. He's played a lover, like a insane lover boy in like Laila Majnu. He's been like kind of just like a cool regular dude in Tu Hai Meri Sunday. You know, like everything he's done, he's never missed. You know, like it's crazy.
And he's like perfectly cast, like, you know, like he plays this guy who's like the slickest of them all, of these three, which is not saying much. And by the end of it, you see that also, you know, there's a cross-dressing scene that is hilarious, and then Pratik Gandhi like steals the show. Like, he is so funny in this. There is a scene where like he like his finger gets chopped off. Literally, and like I was crying laughing with that particular scene. It's I mean, I don't know if you need to particularly go out to the theater to watch it, which I think is what's basically hurting its bottom line at the box office. But it is, like Sujoy said, like it is something that would reward a communal watch. Like if you and like all your friends went out to watch it together, I think you'd have a good time.
But it's is it going to be streaming somewhere, or did the logo pop up like streaming partner or something like that?
Yes.
Prime, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting that like in the same week, like these two mid-budget movies have come out, you know, like both Madgaon and Crew, and both have been reasonably successful, right? And it kind of seems to go against the trend of this idea that we have that, you know, movies now need to be around like a concept and high concept and a big star and a big budget, and everything else people only watch it streaming. And this seems, the success of both of these seems to be, you know, arguing kind of the opposite of it.
I mean, yeah, but like all of these movies, whether it's Lapata Ladies or this one or The Crew, what I've noticed is that again, like Sujoy said, these are all like movies meant to be seen in groups of people. Like this is not the kind of thing that you and your wife go and like watch, you know, like, I mean, you could, but it's an elevated experience if you watch it with an audience that is truly engaged with this kind of cinema. With Lapata Ladies, the people that I watched it were clearly from that part of India, and they were really connecting with the characters and the language that the characters were using, the family equations that they were seeing on screen. Like they were having a really great time. And for MADGAON Express, it was all like young people who clearly had also had their little journey with like Goa or whatever. And even if they didn't particularly, you know, I'm gonna guess that they didn't all get caught up in drugs and Goa, but they could understand that, you know, like the way that the story is built up. And also, is the weird thing about these movies is that the second halves are all better than the first halves of all these movies. It's just, it's kind of weird, but yeah.
I was kind of getting worried because like a lot of people were praising this movie, MADGAON Express, and I don't trust their opinion, especially not on comedy. So, but I'm you guys seem to be, I don't know if you guys enjoy the movie or you enjoy talking about the movie more, but it seems to be like something that I should check out then.
Yeah, I think like when it comes out on streaming, you should definitely check it out.
Okay. Yeah, because it's impossible to find like a screening in London for this movie. It seems to be a very small release. I know, Sujoy, you told me that there were some screenings before you left, but I didn't see them. So this one completely flew under the radar for me. The other movie did have a screening though. The Crew.
Sona kahan hai? Kahan hai Sona? Sona? We would like to welcome everyone on board.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं विजय वालिया, चेयरमैन कोहिनूर रेल।
हमारी सैलरी कम आ रही है। अगले हफ्ते दिवाली के बोनस के साथ साथ सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा। दिवाली में 4 मोतीचूर के लड्डू नहीं मिलने वाले हैं। तू यहाँ बोनस के ख्वाब देख रही है।
Or just Crew.
Is it Crew? Is it Crew?
Yeah. Okay. As Justin Timberlake in Social Network says, just Crew.
Yeah. As a woman, Amrita, speaking for all women,
All women.
how empowered did you feel watching Crew?
It's a giant leap forward for womankind, Asim.
Feminism won.
All problems are solved now.
Yes. Listen, this is a movie that is basically headlined by Kareena, then Tabu, and then Kriti Sanon, right? Like, I know the Kriti stans are going to be mad at me when I say that, but it's true. Like, people are really excited at the thought of watching Kareena and Tabu on screen. Like, there's that scene where like Tabu says, "Foundation hai, magic nahi," and then she's just like, "Foundation nahi." It's like everybody was like talking about that online, right? Like it was like one of those things, and they did like very little publicity for this film too. Like there weren't that many interviews. I think Kareena's learned over the past few years that it's no longer possible for her to give even the most, vanilla interviews without things being twisted around and like people hating on her, etc. It's the same thing with every star, but especially for stars who are interesting, like Kareena and Shah Rukh and even Amir, for that matter. And so like everybody's just sort of like dialed back, and Tabu, of course, doesn't do publicity anyway. And Kriti does, but like she sort of like pulled back on this one. And honestly, like it just really helped the movie, in my opinion, because I went to it not knowing much at all about this film. And the first half was like, okay, like, but it was just like nostalgia, and I was just like happy to see these women on screen. But the second half like really worked for me, and I thought it was like a fun movie. And if I had known more about this film, then maybe I wouldn't have liked it as much.
What about you, Sujoy?
I enjoyed the heck out of this. Like every time Tabu said anything, I was ready to clap at her. This was that movie where Tabu gets the Anil Kapoor sort of vibe from back in the day, like the jhakas dialogue bazi. Tabu gets that, and like every time she just yells at somebody to like, there's a scene where she tells somebody to sit down, and the guy does not listen, and she's like, "Baithna chuti."
Yes. I just think this is some sort of kink for you, seeing Tabu swear. I think this is like some sort of thing that you really
old people. Yes,
yeah. You have like this dominatrix kind of situation going on with Tabu, because I remember you also liked it in that other movie we were watching with her, where she was a cop. Which one was that? Kutte.
Oh.
Maybe. I wouldn't go that far.
Not revealing anything today.
No. Aaj April Fool's. Today is the day to reveal all this and just claim, that it was April Fool's. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this, man. Like everybody, including Tabu, Kareena, and Kriti, did so much. For this script, and like तीनों ने जान डाल दी movie में. It was like nobody was slacking off. The supporting characters was great. I thoroughly enjoyed Shashwat as BJ Walia. And like Diljit and Kriti, yeah, they have chemistry. I really enjoyed them together as well on screen. And the center of it's just like a heist movie, right? And I think they pulled it off. I was thoroughly invested of how things were going to plan out, and Kareena's plan B's and plan C's. It was great.
And it was like a heist movie in the sense of like a proper Ocean's 11 kind of heist movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm thinking like what other Bollywood movies have done like a proper heist, and I really couldn't think of many. Like Happy New Year, but that was just so ridiculous. But
Bunty Bubbly.
Yeah, Bunty Bubbly. It's been a while, right? Bunty Bubbly's been a while. So it's not a genre that you see a lot in Bollywood. So there's a lot of freshness in this movie, in like a template that we kind of already know, right? It is a very like well produced movie. They put a great cast together. They had like a good supporting cast with it. They have amazing locations. It's shot pretty. The songs are good. Although they're pretty much all remixes, they're really good remixes.
And oh my God, I have to mention like the choice to bring Ila Arun's voice here in Choli Ke Piche, as well as Vote for Ghagra in that song where they're just partying out in the club. And also to use Choli Ke Piche, the instrumental version in the climax where like the stakes are high and, it's a high paced sequence, and like anything could go wrong, but also we are rooting for it to go right. And to play that constant music with the dhol and tasha, it was so good. What a choice.
And especially, and I think we know this about Rhea Kapoor and the Kapoor sisters, is the wardrobe. Like the clothes are so amazing. Like all of the clothes that these actresses are wearing, they look like $1 million. And it just jumps out like somebody competent put this movie together. And that really shows, and it's such a refreshing thing. Beside, these actresses are great. We know them. Like I watched 2 Kriti Sanon movies in the past 2 days, and I could watch 2 more. Like I'm like on board on the Kriti Sanon train. Like she's a unproblematic queen, like she's great. Tabu, Kareena, I was thinking a lot about Kareena, right? Like we can all agree she is amazing, but I think we all had a certain pivot point maybe where Kareena convinced us that she is amazing, right? And I was like trying to think back to when that moment was, but she just has this superpower that works really well, that even between Kriti Sanon and Tabu, she forces you to watch her and only her. And I don't know how she does that. And I just think it's amazing. I think she is amazing, and she has probably the best character also, like the best character arc. But she's really kind of what holds the movie together, and she does it amazingly. She is such a star. Yeah.
This is part where they're doing like the Choli Ke Piche. Is it? I think it's a Choli Ke Piche song, and like Kriti is dancing her little heart out.
It's Vote for Ghagra.
Oh no, Vote for Ghagra. It's Vote for Ghagra, and like Kriti is dancing her little heart out. Tabu is doing like Tabu is like very like low key in songs anyway, and Kareena, all she does is like give face. She's not putting like that. She maybe does like 2 dance moves, but like the focus is on her face, and she knows that like when the kids talk about a face card, they're talking about Kareena. Like that is a
even
face card.
in Naina, the song, like Kriti is like dancing, and she has like this overcoat with like a bikini underneath it. I don't know how to explain what she's wearing, and she's like dancing on the plane, and Kareena is just like tapping her face. That's all she's doing. She's tapping her face when saying Naina, and then she's next to Diljit, and she just lights up the screen. Like, again, I don't know how you do that. It's just like, it's a face, right? It's a face. Like, but how do you do so much just with a face? I don't get it. It's amazing.
I mean, that's what's called stardom, right? Like some people have it and some people don't, and Kareena has it. But also I'm like, I thought like Diljit did like a really great job, and he's been very competent for a very long time now. But I'm really excited for Amar Singh Chamkila now. Like I'm like, because he was vulnerable. He was, like leading man material, and he was
sexy.
He was sexy.
Like this guy wants to bang.
Yeah.
I like that energy.
All those double entendres with terminal khul gayi and everything. That was great.
So I'm really like, I liked everybody. Kapil Sharma did a really great job. Like the only unbelievable thing was that Tabu was his wife, which I was just like, really?
Wow. Yeah.
But there's this great sight gag where like, like Tabu is just sort of feeling down So she dresses up in her tiara and her Miss Karnal.
Oh my God! Yes, I love that. I love that. I love that. Like, yeah, when the three have a big fight and
Yeah.
they are having their low moment, and Tabu's go to pick her up is wearing the Miss Karnal tiara and have a drink. It was amazing.
But
It's like
I
a
think,
fleeting scene, even if it wasn't
yeah.
mentioned again.
But I like the way Kapil Sharma he puts his wife on a pedestal, right? Like, and that energy is really well illustrated really well. That okay, he didn't achieve much in life, but he did marry this beauty queen, and at moments he's just sitting and like appreciating her. It's like, can you do the airline thing where the safety message, and I'll just watch you and be in awe of you. And I think that's a great energy, because a lot of times that's the way we're watching Tabu. Like, how is this amazing human being just being, and she's just there being Tabu, and it's pretty darn amazing.
And I love the fact that, we get a proper introduction to these characters and their lives without it being like self-conscious and pretentious and like self-aware and self-conscious. Like, I think that was my problem with Murder Mubarak, for example, where it was just too arch. It was too like, I'm presenting this for the camera. Whereas like this, it was just like, hey, let's just enter these people's lives and see how things move. And it was just perfect. Like, you saw, there's a scene where Kriti's brother finds out that she's been like lying, and she's like, I don't know how to like explain to our parents that I've been lying. And he's like, you can't tell them. What do you mean? You just have to keep lying. And I was like, I recognize that. That is a conversation that every Indian sibling has had at some point, where it's just like, what do you mean you want to like confess the truth? You can't confess the truth. Keep lying. This is just going to go on till the end of time.
Yeah.
It
a lot of my lies rely on your lies.
And
to jump off that point of Murder Mubarak is actually a point I was making when we were reviewing Murder Mubarak. Is this movie does it well, where it is one of those eat the rich kind of movies, right? Like, these rich people, they're all stealing from us. But the moment that these women do get rich, it is fun. It is fun for, because they build it up so well that Kareena is in that airport and she's stealing like empty Louis Vuitton bags just to have like a selfie. And the moment she can shop and buy that bag, and that's really cool, because you were vicariously you're living through them. You also want to become rich, right? But they also understand that the bigger evil are these Vijay Mallya kind of guys that you want to at the end take down. And Murder Mubarak never had that layering, whereas this movie does.
Also, the girl who plays the Vijay Mallya character's daughter, like, that was
Sonam Kapoor.
Hilarious.
Sonam Kapoor. That's the thing. I was just so glad Sonam Kapoor has retired, because I know Kriti Sanon's character would have been played by Sonam Kapoor, and I was like so thankful that that's not happening anymore.
If Sonam had a bit of self-awareness, she would have like auditioned to play the daughter. I think she actually did audition for this movie, and then Rhea was just like, no. I feel like I've read that story somewhere.
Rhea was like, बहुत हो गया बहन. It's enough. मुझ पे भी and everybody else पे जुल्म खत्म. Like, it's enough.
But I will. Sorry, go ahead. No,
I was just going to give props also, because we're talking about the Sonam Kapoor and the Kapoor clan. Props to the product placement in this movie. Like, I know the Momo brand. I know the brand that is delivering clothes to Kareena. I know the Lindt chocolate, and all of these brands are now stuck in my head, and that without annoying me. I think that's pretty good product placement, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also,
Rhea's always been really good with the product placement. Like, all her movies have like excellent product placement.
And it's a Anil Kapoor Film Corporation production, and they bring back that name in the news channel. It's AKFC News, and the bank that gives Kriti's character the notification that her loan is due is also from AKFC Bank.
But also, like, there's a scene where um, they feel like they're being hated upon by all their former friends. And they're like, well, and like sort of like complaining, like Kareena's character is sort of complaining about it. And Tabu and Kriti are just like, yeah, but like when we were in their place, we also hated the people who were doing better, right? And they do a really good job of showing that these women are like just real assholes to, like in whatever scenario it is that they're interacting with their former friends and colleagues. And there's also this part where like Kareena is sort of like yelling at one of their colleagues and it's like, oh, you think you are a friend? Like friends don't try to like send friends to prison and everything. And this woman is just like, but you're not my friend. And also I didn't do that to you, like it's a very, I enjoy the fact that all the women in this movie, I mean, we started with the joke about it being like empowering or whatever, but I'll tell you what I did appreciate as a woman, and that is that every woman in this is a grown up and they have like a job. They
A
like
life.
Tabu, a life, yeah, right. So Tabu is like married to a man who's not like very good at making money, maybe, but she has the ambition that he doesn't. It's always her dream to like move to Goa and open a restaurant, whatever. And he's supportive, but she's the one who is building that future for them. She's the one who has this, she talks about it as like 25 salon ki gulami so that she can like achieve that dream of hers. But she's the one who's working towards that. And there's this scene where she's basically just sort of relaxing at home, getting a foot massage from her husband, and she's got a drink and she's smoking. But it's not like a look at me, look at how like we live our life. Like my husband is like pressing my feet and like I'm drinking and I'm smoking. It's nothing like that. It's just like, look, I need to like relax. I'm just like at home with my husband. And then they're just like being supportive of each other and really nice and good to each other. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate that, like Jasmine has these like really big dreams of the money that she wants to make. And she always has like a backup plan. And she's like really, she's like, criminality is like my bag. But she's also like, she's like trying to get a better life, not just for her, but also for her grandfather. And also how nice was it to like see Khulbhushan Kharbanda again, Everything was
Also,
just nice.
Good script writing also on the level that how they built in the reveal at the end that it's Kriti flying the plane. And where she lands the plane. It's just such smart writing and so clear, and it's so well built into the script because it is sort of her narration at the start of the movie, right? It's her voiceover, and not everybody gets a voiceover. She does. And the way it then comes back to it and loops at the end, I thought that was just very smart, very clever. It's nothing like... And this is the whole thing about this movie. None of it is groundbreaking. None of it is shocking. None of it is gonna like, this is like the best movie ever made. But it's just very competently well made and it serves its purpose. It's well within the budget. It's making good money. It's got a good streaming partner. It's brought together a cast that we would never have seen otherwise, right? Like, it's just so smart. Like I really think this is just a very successful production more than anything else, and that shows. And that's just a great, and I think, I mean, it's called Anil Kapoor, but I don't think this Anil Kapoor had anything to do with this. I think this is really Rhea Kapoor that put this all together, and props to her,
And Ekta Kapoor.
Ekta and Rhea. It's just like, what a joy. And I think like it's also kind of sad because we've arrived at this point where we're just giving out all the applause for just competent filmmaking. But it's true. Like I just want to see competent filmmaking.
It's a rarity in these days when first drafts get made into OTT shows and they drop every 2 weeks or so and they are forgotten within the week. It becomes a rarity when a show or a movie drops like this, when it's competently made and it's thoroughly entertaining from the first half to the second half, and it doesn't drop your attention levels. And it has actors that you really want to see, and they're delivering whatever they sought out to do in the first place. It's a rarity these days.
Like that, the Vote for Ghagra song, like the remix, when you sort of like follow them through the club and they're just like having fun and they're dancing, but they're not dancing for, the male gaze. Yeah, they're not doing it for the male gaze. It's not an item song. It is literally three women having a good time with each other. And like, how long has it been since we saw something like that in Hindi cinema? You know, like, it's just like, I just sat there just watching it, and I was just like, I just love this so much, not just for myself, but also for like women who are watching it, but also like the women who are performing in it, because they just like get to do this thing where it's not just like, oh, look at me being sexy. And it's a very sexy song. Like both the Ila Arun numbers are like very sexy songs, but they're being like told, like they're being performed in order to prolong the story, or like in service of the story itself, which again is a rarity into 2024, which is just like so sad.
I wanted to also take my wife and my daughter to this movie because I knew they were going to like it. And when my daughter is like around 11, 12, and I do always check the rating of a movie before I go. Like, what is especially the BBFC website is really good because they explicitly tell you, what the problematic issue is, or why the rating is there. And I knew that this was going to be a safe movie. I knew this. I would not have any issues with taking my young daughter. This is because I know the women and the people that are making this movie, right? And that's not even a guarantee I have with other movie makers or other stars, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool because it does not. I knew there was not going to be any creepiness or violence or, male gaziness, because I don't think these women or the people that are making this movie would be into that. And I thought that was really cool, And also just talking about the quality, I think we're maybe even downplaying how good this movie is, because this movie is better than Donkey. It's better than Radhe. It's better than Circus. It's better than Jesh Bhai Jordar. It's better than Prithviraj. This is much better than a lot of movies out there that we've had to sit through in the last few times with leading male stars, right? So I don't even want to say, I feel like when I was talking about the competency of the movie, maybe I'm underplaying that. It's actually also a really good movie. And I think when it does come out on Netflix, I think people will have a lot of fun.
Do you want a hot take?
Hot take? Yeah, go ahead.
This movie is better than Jawan.
I was before I put in Donkey, I was almost going to say that, but I was like, I don't want to create another controversy, but I'll let you have it.
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I just had a lot of fun with this, and it's also one that I'll be rewatching. It has a lot of rewatchability to it,
Yeah, it does.
There's a portion where in the second half when they're planning their heist to loot Vijaywalia, they are sort of scouting out the location at the hotel, and they had to order this really expensive chai, and Tabu says, $100 ki coffee mangaiye, jhaag bhi pee ke jaungi.
Yeah.
What a line. And Tabu gets to say it.
That whole heist is so good. The gold smuggling is amazing. How they get to that idea, how they do it, or when they almost get caught. It's like, even also props to that lady that's playing the customs officer.
Yeah.
She is great. The moment she just starts smashing those chocolate boxes because she's so frustrated because she knows she has, the right information. I only have good things.
Mala.
Yeah, Mala, yeah. I only have good things to say about this movie. I really, really like the crew. I like crew.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Short and sweet. Amrita, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AmritaIQ.
Sujoy?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at 93K. And you can also follow Khandaan Podcast on all our socials at Khandaan Podcast.
Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. Why did I say it that way? Drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com and become a Patreon. Get extra exclusive content. Me and Amrita just did an episode where we were A, making fun of Sujoy not being there, and B, talking about some older Amitabh movies. So I think that could be quite interesting. Plus, we also upload a lot of like video content there, and it's literally the only way you can support our work. So if you like us, support our work. And thank you for listening.
सोना कितना सोना है